It's December, which means it's time for the return of the series that helps you fall in love with sports for the first time or fall back in love with it. Welcome back to the second year of 25 Days of Sportsmas. It's just like Vlogmas, except every day I'm telling you a story about sports that will get you into sports for the very first time. Each of these stories that I'm going to go through over the next 25 days tells you about an athlete or a moment in sports that I think will be the first thing that gets you hooked. I personally think that one of the best ways to get into sports is by the human element of connecting with a single individual athlete. Sometimes that's a moment where you see the incredible feat of humanity when it comes to pushing yourself to these limits, but also sometimes it's moments of humanity, moments of recognition and inclusion, and sometimes, like last year, moments that included heists. I personally think that there is a story for every person that wants to get interested in sports. And the most important part of this series is that every single one of these stories is something that you could understand whether you've watched sports or not. Your sports IQ does not have to be incredibly high for this series, but I think December is the perfect time of year to get into sports because there are so many things that happen right at the beginning of the year. On Christmas Day, we'll obviously have NBA and NFL games, and early next year we have the Super Bowl and the Winter Olympics. We also have the PWHL, the Women's Hockey League, that just kicked off another season of hockey, and that's breaking attendance records and due to actually expand again next year. There's also the return of Unrivaled, the Women's 3-on-3 Basketball League, and the Women's Professional Baseball League is set to kick off for the very first year. There are so many different types of sports that you can get into, and I'm pretty sure that in 25 days of stories about sports, about athletes, about scandals, about rivalries, you will find a moment that hooks you into something that you've maybe never explored before. This year, in addition to the sports stories, I'm also going to include a few TV shows and movies that I think would get you into sports if you had no interest in them. Generally speaking, I do this series because I want to share my love of sports with all of you, and hopefully at the end of the year, make some new sports fans going into 2026. So this series will cover all types of sports. Just like with my normal content, if it has a score or a finish line, I'm going to cover it. And as you follow this series and you start to find sports that you're interested in, make sure that you tune in to some of the educational series that I do on this page. I have a whole series about hockey basics, Formula One basics, and I've been covering the Winter Olympics for months. So once one of these stories actually clicks in for you, my content outside of this series is always about helping you understand sports without any judgment. So I'm not going to just hook you onto something and leave you high and dry. Any questions that you have about sports as you're discovering them, you can always drop in the comments of my videos and I will do my best to answer them for you. And if you're already a fresh fan of some of these sports, be sure to check out the basic series that I've done before. So come back every single day this month for a new story about sports that's bound to get you into a new one or help you get a friend hooked on your new favorite obsession. And if you're into binging old seasons, you can watch all of the 25 Days of Sportsmas videos that I did last year now. So buckle up and follow along because my goal for the end of this year is to make you a sports fan by 2026. Be sure to follow along and come back tomorrow for the very first story for the 25 Days of Sportsmas.